Hi, my name is Ana del Castillo, and I'm a women's rightness expert and certified empowerment coach. I'm trauma educated and informed, and I love working with women. And I assume that you came to me and you found me and you're here because there's some area in your life that you are stuck inside of and you want to get unstuck. This is the place to be. For the next 15 minutes, maybe 18 minutes or so, you're going to learn about a tool that I love. The tool is, you know how when I lived in New York for like 30 years, and you know how when you're coming out of the subway and there's that map right at the right before you leave the train station, and it says you are here. This is one of those tools that tells you you are here so that you can get more effectively to where you want to go. It's sort of like a GPS. So get ready. We're going to talk about the 5 levels of commitment. The agenda is that I'm going to introduce the commitment levels to you. There's level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to figure out about how to apply those 5 levels. And then at the conclusion, you're going to hopefully embrace commitment in a different level. See it differently and be able to commit to it differently. So here's the introduction to commitment levels. Welcome to understanding the 5 levels of commitment and why you feel stuck, or you might be feeling stuck in this particular area that I'm sure you have in mind. In our lives, we find ourselves navigating through various commitments, from personal goals to professional aspirations. And these levels range from complete disengagement to a fierce do or die mentality. Recognizing where you stand can empower you to make more intentional choices. So I want to talk about this for a moment. Before we jump in, I want to bring home the point that none of these different levels is bad or wrong. They're all valuable. They're all great. One is not better than the other one. One is more effective if you're doing something or want to do something. One is definitely more effective, but nothing bad, nothing wrong. So don't use this as a tool to shame yourself. This is a tool to have more clarity, okay? So let's move on to how these levels relate to both personal growth and the dynamics within our relationships. So you can figure out how to thrive, not just in 1 or 2 areas, but in every area. And I say this specifically because for women, we're sometimes really, really powerful and like rock stars in a couple of areas of our lives. In fact, most areas of our lives, but then in one particular area that's usually in interpersonal relationships, we can get stuck in like quicksand because we don't know where our boundaries end and where others begins. We get sort of stuck. Sometimes we're in relationships with really challenging people and we've just never been able to sort of like overcome our own like collapse around it. And so hopefully this tool will give you a little bit more clarity. Level 1, no thought, no commitment. At this level, there's absolutely no thought given to goals or commitments. It's like being in a blissful state of denial. I don't think women are ever in a blissful state of denial, but we're going to go with it. Imagine lounging on the couch, snacks in hand, binge watching a show, while life's responsibilities pile up around you. That's level 1. So, by the way, most women are genuinely never like that. When we're hanging out and we've got a whole bunch of stuff to do, our house sort of talks to us. But this particular level speaks to, I'm not doing that right now. I got no interest. It's not going to happen. People here think commitment, that sounds nice for someone else. They're not even on the radar of considering it as something for us, for them, right? It's a stage where the idea is as far away as the last episode of your favorite series. It's just not on your to-do list, like not even. It's something that like lives somewhere else. This is the level where planning for a vacation is more serious planning than your future. So that's level 1. Level 2 is people at this level really admire commitment, but don't see it for themselves. There's some area in our lives where we're like, that's nice for you. That's nice, but I'm not really there. They often say, that's great, but not for me. This mindset won't necessarily lead to any outcome outside our to-do list, right? It's not going to lead to any like really great outcome. But the good news, and it is good news, is that there's no suffering like inside of this level. You know, there's just Like there are lots of things in my life that I'm at level 2, level 1 at, and I don't care. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I will never be a basketball player. I'm totally okay with that. I will never, I jumped from a plane once. I will never jump from it again. And I'm good with that. My commitment level is 1 inside of that. So there are places in your life where you're at level 1 or level 2 and you're good. Imagine someone saying, I'll start my fitness journey right after, maybe, I don't know, sure, I'll go for a run after I eat pizza, but like with a joke. Or I love the idea of self-care, and this is an interesting one. I love the idea of self-care. I just prefer to do it while doing something for my kids. Sometimes level 2 is one of those places where we default into because we're doing for everybody else, and we are always at the bottom of the list. And so we are always, I'll get to it later, I'll get to it later, I'll get to it later. Sometimes level 2 is that we default into that. There's nothing wrong, I want to repeat, there's nothing wrong with any of these levels. They're just locations on the map. Moving on to level 3. Level 3 is an interesting level. It's an ambivalent stage. At this level, people are mulling over commitments, but they haven't really taken the plunge. It's like a getting ready to get ready. They're starting to be like, you know what? I'm starting to consider this. I'm not ready. I don't really have a plan. I don't want to have a plan. I'm just starting to mull it over. It's a mental, gotta get to that one day, we'll get to that one day spot between desire and our life demands or our own patterns and habits. It's just not high on the priority list at all, but it's coming up, it's moving up. There's not real investment here. Here people like lack skin in the game. They're like on the outskirts of the field, right? They're in the stands. They're not quite on the field playing. They think about the goal, but haven't quite committed to getting there. And hesitations a lot of the time are just like lack of time, self-doubt, and the comfort of just really being comfortable, the status quo. People get parked here at this level for a while. They're like thinking, they're getting ready to get ready. And it's like being cozy in a blanket, you know? There's some way in which it feels safe to think about it. You're going to be doing it, but like you're not quite there yet. There's some safety inside of that. Nothing wrong with this level 2. Nothing wrong. Level 4. Conditional commitment. This is the level where so many people are at, and there's so much suffering inside of this level. I can't even tell you. I myself, oh my gosh, there are some areas of my life that I've been stuck in level 4 for so long. My first husband, I was stuck in level 4 for so long. And then finally one day I like moved out and was like, everything got clear. But let me stay in level 4 for a moment. The positives about this, people at this level often show great enthusiasm when pursuing a goal. And they inspire others because they can really talk about it. They're like gung-ho. They're willing to put in the effort and time to achieve what they want, showcase their potential for success, right? The initial commitment can lead to significant progress and accomplishments, and it motivates them further. Here's the not so great part, right? That sounds really awesome. But the not so great part is commitment usually wanes when faced with an unforeseen challenge or it touches on something that's like a trigger point from their past, and then they go into like what I call an emotional or psychological hole, where they get stuck inside that hole and all of a sudden they've collapsed. They're like, ugh. And usually what happens is that it leads to a cycle of frustration and blame. They're either like blaming others, their circumstances, or even themselves when their goals become really, like when they get into that sort of pothole, they just get really, really stuck. And the story inside of it is like, I tried, but life is, God, money, like all these things. And there's like bitterness that happens in this particular level. For me, I had one where it was like, you know, God. It's like there was something about the universe, you know, it was always against me. And I was really stuck inside of this. I would try and then I would fail, try and then come up against myself and then fail, try. And I was inside of that cycle for a long time. This is a really challenging cycle or level because we think we're at level like balls to the wall commitment, but we're actually not. This level creates a false sense of security where individuals, you and I and everybody else on the planet, think that we're really committed, but we stop. We get stopped when the going gets really, really tough. Okay, next one. You can imagine where we're going. Level 5 commitment. Level 5 commitment transforms all of that into fierce determination. Remember Gone with the Wind when she's like, as God is my witness, I will never go hungry again. It's like breaking through anything. I'm 100% certain if you're a woman who has been successful in any area of your life, that you have like reached, touched, you have a map for what level 5 commitment is. It's literally like, I don't care. If you have children, you will be like, I don't care. My children will never go hungry. I will feed them my own arm before I let that happen. It's who do I need to be in order to do the next thing. And there's something that happens when we get into this level 5 commitment. All of the difficulty of level 4 commitment sort of falls away because the noise in our brain quiets. Instead of having to fight the inner demon, the war internally that we're having, some trigger spot, some wounding that we had, instead of fighting up against that all the time, that finally gets resolved and we're just like moving forward. The C's part. I'm not saying that things aren't challenging. I'm not saying that things still don't like come up. It's just that who we are in the face of that is very different. We're like, not a lot of drama. We're like, nope, we're going to do this. We're going to do this because you are level 5. Think about when you are an Olympic swimmer. You got to get up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 in the morning, maybe 2:30 in the morning, and you got to go swim before you go to school or before you go to class. You hate it. You don't like it, but you don't have a lot of drama inside of it because you're like, I'm going to the Olympics. It's that level of commitment. Applying the 5 levels, self-assessment. This is what I want you to do. You can even like pause this now if you want to. Reflect on your current level of commitment. This is highly important. Self-awareness is key. It's literally finding yourself on the map and going, this is where I am here. You can't set your GPS if you don't know where you're starting. Reflect on your current level of commitment. Are you at level 1, casually scrolling, or are you at level 5, ready to conquer? Write it down. Get real. Be authentic. And please don't shame yourself for it. Don't be inside of it like, I should be. No, you're where you're at. There's nothing wrong. Level 4 has a lot of that noise, by the way. It's perfectly okay. Identify triggers. Recognize what drives your commitment or holds you back. Is it fear, lack of support, or just Netflix? Knowing your triggers helps tackle barriers. By the way, nothing wrong with any of that, by the way. There are times when literally I'm like, I got nothing to do and my commitment is to this series. It's like, that's it. Set clear goals. By the way, this next one about setting clear goals is more difficult if you are really stuck inside of some trauma thing that gets touched and you can't get out of the loop. Don't try to set clear goals until that gets addressed and handled. Because what happens usually is that you try to skip steps and then you go for it and then you collapse and then you fail and then it's just one more thing that you've got to deal with and then you get stuck inside that cycle. So yes, set clear goals based on where you actually are. Define what you want to achieve with clarity. Make your goals SMART. Everybody's heard of the SMART process. Make it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This turns vague ideas into powerful commitments. And very important, community. Build a support network. Community. Surround yourself with uplifting individuals who hold you accountable in a good way, not in a shaming way. A supportive like community or tribe that boosts your commitment levels and makes it more fun. Okay, here's the conclusion. And a woman standing there, very confident. Embracing where you are and moving to level 5 commitment. The 5 levels of commitment serve as a roadmap to recognize where you stand in your journey. Understanding these levels helps you identify where you are so you can set your sights and better shift yourself and your actions. Embracing higher levels of commitment means growing your capacity for inner and outer challenges, meaning the higher commitment, the more capable you are of literally surfing on the waves of inner and outer challenges. Some of the waves will really, really big, but the more committed your commitment will actually give you spine to be able to handle all of those challenges. Remember, it's okay to be at any level. Self-awareness is power. And it's imperative, please, goodness me, have a sense of humor about your process. Some days you're going to be at level 1, and some days you'll be at level 5, me included, everybody in the world included. The average overall is what makes the biggest difference here. By the way, if you are at the end of this and you are like, Anna, I'm still feeling stuck and frustrated. I've been in level 3 or 4 and I can't get myself unstuck. You're not alone. So many of us, me included, everyone I know, gets trapped in a cycle of either too much commitment in one area and not enough commitment in others. Usually it's too much commitment in people and in other things outside of us and not enough commitment to ourselves. This leads, usually 100% of the time only, resentment, disappointment, and a deeply dissatisfying, nagging sense of unfulfillment. It's like we're a person on an island and life isn't touching us. So I want you right now to imagine a different reality. I want you to imagine effortlessly navigating the 5 levels of commitment in your life. I want you to imagine experiencing deeper connections and intimacy with yourself and the people that you love. And finally, I want you to imagine, and this is genuinely real, I am telling you, I've had a deeply challenging life, one that was unimaginable, not as bad as others, certainly better than others. And I want you to imagine that breaking free from the things that you believe right now are not possible to break through. I'm telling you, it's possible. It's possible. If you're here and you would like more, I invite you to unlock the secrets to truly fulfilling relationships and a life where you get to be more aligned and have more joy and feel like you're capable, where you're a rock star in one area of your life, you're actually becoming and are a rock star in the area of your life where you felt most collapsed inside of. Click here, click below, and find out more. Either way, I'm really thrilled that you came here and that you learned all of this. I hope that this serves you really well and that you use this tool to empower yourself in every direction and in any direction that you want. All my love to you, and rock it, my dears.